I am your host, Skye Logan. I'm going to be talking today about the true path to financial freedom. And of course, I am your adoring host, Skye Logan, here at Equity and Help. I'm the director of Philanthroinvesting. I take care of all of everything from due diligence all the way through the initial onboarding. So I talk with a lot of people, a lot of investors. Whatever size of capital deployment happens, I am the gatekeeper that lets everyone, that brings everyone in, and I love doing what I do. So I talk to a lot of people, get a lot of data on other type of investments that they're doing, and I see a lot of horrible things out there that people are doing, or other investment vehicles are doing, or even producing in a return. So yeah, I just love doing what I'm doing. So I'm going to just kind of rambling on here just a moment to give a few other last minute stragglers as usual come in here. But again, we're going to be talking about the true path to financial freedom. All right. So there is a chat window. So just to cover a few things, there is a chat window there that you can see. And feel free to chime in where you all are from. Do some shout outs and hellos. If you have questions, use that chat window there to ask away. I'll try to keep that up on the screen there so I can see what everyone has to say. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and get underway. All right, so true path to financial freedom with yours truly, Skye Logan. All right. So let's discuss what is financial freedom, okay? So last few weeks we've talked about the detriment that is the emotional and this herd investing in stocks, equities, and various things that everyone starts seeing in the social media and all these things is, woo, it's going up, and everyone wants to get into that investment. So it's that herd investing, as we say, or this emotional. You want that highs, you want that excitement of it. But nobody wants the lows, as we discussed in the previous webinar, what happens in this roller coaster. So your stock value tends to be your emotional value, depression and blah, blah, blah. That whole game, we discussed that a lot. But let's talk about what people really want out of their investments. Okay, what is it that people really want? What is that end game? They're just using it as a vehicle to get there. But they obviously want financial freedom. Okay, but what is this thing? What is this financial freedom in general? What does everyone call this thing? And not only that, but what is it for you? Okay, how do you define that financial freedom? Okay, in the now and all the way through the future, because obviously you just can't plan for now. Oh, this quarter I'm going to be financially free, but I'll be broke in 6 months. Obviously, it doesn't work out. So this retirement, being prepped for that. Looking in the future, what's happening, not only with your own internal income, your economy, but what external, because let's face it, we all live on planet Earth here, and we are affected to a certain degree of external markets and various things that happen. Okay, maybe you're going in a certain direction, but one wrong political decree can completely change that whole scene. So you need to be prepared for that. One reason why diversification is so important, because all your eggs in one basket opens you up to a lot of detriment. So stability, being hassle-free. We talk about that a lot. This turnkey investment company that is Equity and Help and other investment, is that what you're looking at, or what exactly this financial freedom? Do you want to be doing the work? Do you not want to be doing the work? Again, defining it exactly for you. Good morning, Adele. As usual, love seeing you here on the webinars. Absolutely. Hopefully the weather's not too bad there where you're at. All right, feel free to ask any questions as we're going through this, and everyone else I see in here, you little shy babies. All right, so how do you define it? Okay, so there are lots of opinions on what financial freedom is. Okay, but we can definitely agree, if you make $100 and you have $101 in expenses, it's not a good thing. Okay, you're broke. Because vice versa, if you make $100 and your expenses are $98, that's a good thing. Okay, so obviously you just have magnifying that to, tens of thousands, 100,000, billions of dollars. So we can all very easily agree on that. Okay, even though some don't quite understand that simple concept, they overspend, outside their means and stuff. So money management is one thing. How do you actually manage a dollar? Okay, does that dollar manage you? Your emotional state? Every time you get a paycheck, woo, I'm happy, and you spend the expenses, then you're depressed. You eat, right? Is that managing you? Are you in control? That's the simplicity of it. Control and effect. So that's something that really want to move everyone out of is this. Again, that's not financial freedom. You get paid, you're happy, and then you spend it, you're depressed, and this constant stress and emotion and stuff. You don't feel too free. You're kind of bound by what happens with that dollar to control your happiness. That's, to me, is not freedom. Okay. So definitely controls your happiness at the dinner table with your kids. I'm a family guy. Everyone here jokes how many I have. They keep suggesting I buy a bus and things like that to commute everyone around. But your happiness or your grumpiness at the dinner table, do you want to be in control of that, or do you want to be effective of that? Okay. So a big factor, maybe one of the largest, is simply knowing what is going on with your own finances. How's your income? How's your expenses? Okay, where's your money going? What are you spending your money on? What are you making pre-tax, after tax? Okay, I've done this a lot. I've asked people, which is amazing. Everyone's like, oh, I just can't control finances. I have a hard time with it. All right. Oh, okay. So how much you making? What's your gross income? Some hem and haws, and they pretty much give it to me. Okay, what's your after tax income? A little bit more hem and hawing. Not quite sure. Less and less people answer it clearly. Okay, I can ask 10 people these questions. What are your expenses? For sure, probably 1 out of 10 people will tell me what their expenses are. Like that, they know. Okay, and if that guy does know, I know that he's in control and he's managing his money properly. Okay, money control. All right, knowledge, responsibility, control. All right, you got to know where you're at right now, and you simply are knowing the scene. I'm gonna go this way. Knowing the scene, different stages as best you can throughout the future, or the predicted or the projected future. Okay, the more you know, the better your control can be on it. Okay, you're taking step responsibility for that, where you're at in that scene. Okay. So look at this. Inflation. One thing you have to know. So there are a few factors involved with your financial freedom. So keep in mind laying out your retirement strategy. All right. You obviously need to plan out, what is your lifestyle, your desired lifestyle at that time. Okay. You know your lifestyle now. Maybe it's not what you want. Maybe it is exactly what you want. But what do you want it to be when you're in retirement age, 65, 70, 75, 80, etc. You need to figure out good. First of all, what do you want at that time? What is where you want to live? Your lifestyle at that time, etc. Amount of expenses, amount of travel, you just really need to put this on paper. Again, I can ask 10 people these questions. Okay, let me show me your plan. Show me your financial plan for the future. Well, it's kind of here. Okay. So first error, it's all up here. It's all significance as opposed to a plan. A plan needs to be on paper. Put it into 2 dimensions, and you can work it out a little bit better. All right. So what are the demands on your income? So you're going to need to consider the buying power of your dollar, of course, is a huge factor. Look at this, right? This is since 1990, okay, inflation rate, average 2.4% average annual inflation over the past 20 years. Okay, so you're like, oh, well, I want to be making, I'm making, $60,000 a year right now, or $120,000 a year right now. I'm happy if I keep making that. 100,000. Let's call it 100,000. I keep making that. Nothing ever stays. It's going to go down. So if anything else, inflation, that $100,000 is not going to buy you the exact same thing. Obviously, everyone kind of understands this concept, but I'm not sure they really plan for this concept. Oh, I'm going to set aside $400,000, and that should be enough for me to live for 10 years. 65, 75, I feel like I'm going to die at 75, or whatever the plan is. They underplan for sure. But for example, $4 gallon of milk, you know what it's going to cost you right now? $4 gallon of milk in 2021 will cost you $8 in 2051. Okay, twice as much. So you have $4, you save it, stick it in the safe. 2051, you pull it out, you can't even buy a gallon of milk. So this, obviously, your money, you need to consider what that, how much you're going to be buying at that time. Again, your travel expenses. Right now, you're like, oh, I can travel for, $1,200 right now. Okay, well, expect it ain't going to be the same when you're traveling 20 years down the road. All right, so that's a huge factor. Again, I'm talking about not only your internal economics, but the external, what's happening with the value of the dollar, what's happening with all these things. Now, one reason people will, they want to do various investments like ourselves, like Equity and Health, it's a super low risk. And we're considered a high return system, and it helps offset or mitigate inflation itself. So if it's a 2.5% inflation rate, and you're making, over 10%, 10 up to 15%, whatever it is, obviously that inflation is going to notch that down, taxes, all these various things. But if you set that aside in a managed account that is making, steadily 5%, you're only making 5% once you take out all the other stuff that's happened. That dollar in the future you're actually, you're down to, 2.5% returns on that money. If you can look at it that way. Okay. And that's horrible. All right. So obviously preparing for the retirement. So you got to consider your family needs. You obviously have to have that solid financial strategy. All right. What are your retirement goals? As I talked about, you got to pull all that data. Again, put it in writing. Go down to Walgreens, go down to CVS or whatever, buy yourself one of these little composition books and start putting it in writing. Where you at now? Where do you want to be at different stages, at 10-year stages, and just lay out what that is going to be look like, okay? And that can help you really kind of figure things out. Trust me, that's a fantastic start. Step 0, figure out, okay? You're looking at various things. Obviously, Social Security, very few people are depending on Social Security solely, especially individuals that I work with. That's obviously not much of a huge factor, but obviously it's income stream. I'm actually going to get right into that because these are some interesting retirement. Look at this. So Social Security. So you look at this. Sorry, a little too far there. Social Security alone is not conducive to your own retirement, let alone obviously your legacy planning. Okay. Social Security replaces, according to the AARP and Social Security Administration, 40% of pre-retirement income on average. Okay, that's how much that replaces. Meanwhile, most financial experts recommend that you should have 70% income replacement. Okay, it's only 70%. So they say, okay, so you're living your lifestyle $60,000 right now. Take 70% of that. Let's call it 100,000 for the sake of easy numbers. Right now, $100,000 my lifestyle living right now, annually. Good. Take 70% of that. So in the future, you should have it all figured out. Your house is paid off, your car is paid off, the various expenses is a lot less. You should have a retirement package that can replace 70% of your current income. 70%? What the heck? I don't want to be going that way. I want to figure out things. One, the dollar's worth less, etc. So 70% is not super good. But I actually want, how about I put it together a structure where I'm maintaining my lifestyle, plus I have even more for the future. Okay. So here's some interesting things. So example of things you need to know if you're looking at Social Security as some source of income in the future. So according to the AARP and Social Security Administration, estimated average Social Security retirement benefit in 2021 is $1,543 a month. Okay, $18,000 a year. Okay, that's it. That's the average right now. Okay, now Social Security Administration has a maximum benefit allowance actually. So the most an individual retiree can ever get, no matter how much you contribute into that, it's $3,100 a month. Okay, a lot of people say, well, hey, I can live off $3,100 a month. Maybe. Depends one, where did you retire to? What is your lifestyle at that time? Is that your sole source of income, or you have other sources of income, obviously? So that's $37,000 a year. That's a maximum benefit. Okay. And that's if it's taken at the full retirement age, FRA as they call it. So, which currently is 66. It's slowly creeping up, but if you can start taking that at 62, but anyways, getting into that whole conversation maybe a different time, but you have to know these things for planning. But some people say, oh, this Social Security, it's a source of income that I want to have. Okay, well, this is an example that I can show you how that's not a solid solution, because your lifestyle is going to be a lot less than it is. It's going to be completely insufficient. All right. Not even taking into account all the medical expenses. How much are those going to go up? Et cetera, et cetera. Okay. All right. So let me give you a different example. This I covered in a different webinar a little bit. I like it so much. It's such a great apples to apples. All right, so investor one. So this investor over here, okay, so he slaved for 30 years, working a job that was not his dream job. His boss made his life difficult and he was unmanageable. So he was diligent. This investor put money away steadily, just like every single paycheck, every month, and just steadily putting it away, okay? So he ended his career making a salary of $150,000 per year. He followed the traditional advice of putting everything in low-cost mutual funds or ETFs, exchange traded funds. He was able to build his net worth to $2 million. Okay, so now he's ready to retire, but he's still unsure he'll have enough to last. So his financial advisor is telling him he can safely withdraw 3 to 4%, which this is what they'll advise you on in general. Okay, out of this, whatever you have set aside at that time, 3 to 4% per year. So right now, $60,000, that's your annual cash flow at that time. Okay, now keep in mind, he was making $150,000 a year and he was used to a higher standard of living. So in retirement, during this 3 to 4, 60,000, so there's nothing to sneeze at, of course, but keep that in mind that it is obviously going from 150 down to 60, way more than half, right? Okay. So his before tax, so obviously before tax, annual cash flow is 60,000. Okay. Now let's look at investor number 2. All right, I'm going to use the same amount of investment. So investor 2, she's still young. She's been in the workforce for 10 years and she's had a successful career thus far. She makes a good income of $80,000 a year, but has a lot of income, a lot of room left in her for earning more earning power. Okay. So I've been in the workforce for 10 years, so she got some space. All right, she's been consistently accumulating assets, so she's been using that and buying assets, income-producing assets, okay, and other investments that are generating cash flow. All right, so she's purchased several single-family homes, she's bought mortgage notes, and she's also a passive investor, multifamily properties, and investing in various real estate like equity and help, okay. So overall, her average return is 10%. Okay, our average in 2021 or 2020 was 11.04% net return across all our portfolios. Okay, so consider 11% average return. In this case, we're talking about 10 to 3 to 4%. The same money, right? She could take out half of that and still leave more into the portfolio and let it continue to grow and still be better than scenario number 1, okay? So say she works her full career similar to this investor number 1, and she's able to build a net worth of $2 million. Okay, she also ends her career making a salary of $150,000 a year to give us a comparable to this, okay? Whoop, sorry. So her before tax annual cash flow is going to be 60,000. Now 60,000. Sorry, scrolling down. There we go. Apparently, I'm a newbie at this. So she ends her career 150,000 a year. However, instead of mindlessly putting money away in the stock, she puts in these various things and is constantly building. Okay, so look at these 2 scenarios. Okay, so these things you should plan with. Super different. Same amount of money. It depends where you've put your money. Mutuals, ETFs, various things, building at 3 to 4%, or putting it in other vehicles, real estate, equity and help, alternative investments, etc. instead of them making a solid 10%. Huge difference. Okay. Another example. Okay, this is an actual property management report. You can see here, look at doing the wrong thing. These are things you want to, being a landlord, right? And having someone manage it. You're paying huge fees to a property management company and you put them in the wrong areas. You're not sure what you're doing, various things. You're making a negative return. This is for May last year. This is somebody's actual return here, report. Negative $53 that. This is on 4 properties, by the way. Made negative 4 properties. So this is doing it wrong. Okay. Doing what everyone else says you should do. I want to be a landlord and then I'm going to get a property management company to take care of it and it's going to be great. I want to be fantastic. Okay. So you're betting your retirement on a scenario that obviously is not paying out. Proof. Okay. Now, let's look at cash flowing. Let's look at a successful way to do this. Okay. What you're looking at here is, this is an actual scenario. This is what we're doing here. You're looking at portfolios. This is the revenue, monthly revenue on portfolios. Okay. The blue here is the number of homes. Okay. And this orange here is the cash flow. You're actually taking out every month. All right. So you're seeing these properties. So he's reinvesting. This is set at 50%. So they're actually pocketing half every single month, putting it in their pocket. And the other half, they're leaving and letting that portfolio continue to grow, which is super intelligent because you don't want it to die out. This is a legacy plan. This is something you can leave to your family, right? Starting out with 11 properties, so investment at the beginning, and then you just take 50% out the entire time and reinvest the rest. Look at how you're buying a property, 11 properties, 23, 24, 25, 26. This is probably every, whatever this is, 4 or 5 months within here. And it's building up to, 44 plus properties. This is exactly what we're doing here. So this is something that you want to do is obviously you need the income. Maybe you don't need it the whole time. Maybe you're still working. You start doing this at 55 and you don't want to start taking it out until 65. So you actually don't need to take 50% out at the beginning. You can reinvest all of it and even have greater gains. Okay. So you're actually, you can look through here through these periods, you're actually earning, this is net return. I want to, all expenses taken out of there, which aren't very much, but still, I always talk to my clients about net, after things are taken out, because you never want to have this shocker or whatever. So our 11% on average we're producing, that's the net return, annual returns we're doing. So this is a fantastic example of how to do it right. Okay, it's our own internal diversification system because it's a number of doors. All your income isn't on one door. So if he doesn't pay, you're out 100% of your income. No, it's on 20 doors. So if 2 people don't pay, you're still making huge amounts of money. Okay, so this is intelligent ways of looking at things as far as a vehicle that works. Okay, it's an alternative investment, but absolutely this is what we're doing. Hundreds of clients. Okay, so good segue into all that awesomeness, right? So again, how hard are you working for your money or how hard is your money working for you? All right, financial freedom, cash flow. Okay, they say cash is king, but cash flow is king, right? That's what I always say because, it's you can see from that you're cash flowing and you're reinvesting a portion of that to continue the capital growth. All right. So if you want to talk with me about that, you want to discover the core facts about our program, get into that due diligence, reach out to me. Go to economyhelp.com. I'm all over the website. You can click the schedule time or just call us. You can see on your screen here, I have a calendar, but you can also get to it by going to just go to our website. You can download a free information pack, lots of testimonials from our clients, from our families, how we're actually helping people, right? Grow your capital, while helping others. It's exactly what we're doing. All right. So set up a discovery call with me. I would absolutely love to talk with you about that and how we can, how I can help you build a pretty solid retirement portfolio. And that's what we're doing every day. So reach out to me. Thank you very much for coming to this week's webinar. I'm right at my time here, so I'm going to end off. Again, reach out to me. All right. And I will absolutely love to talk with everyone. Or if you have someone else that is interested, have them reach out to me, or you get them in touch with me for sure. Okay. Thank you very much for coming. And I look forward to talking with you in next week's webinar. Okay. Bye.